Yo, what's going on, YouTubers? I just wanted to make a little quick video because I am really big fan of movies. Ever since the time I was young lad, I can remember just waiting for a new movie to come out on the big screen, and that just allowing me to make the best of my world. So I'm really just always excited when a new movie comes out, and I can't wait for all the reviews and everything else for that to come on. So I just wanted to share with everybody, my, opinion, what a theater or production company is thinking about doing when they get a hold of a story and cough it out. And when they get a hold of a movie and then they decide to put it into a motion picture, I think it's just something wonderful. So basically, that's what I want to start doing. That being said, I want to start with my first movie. Here we go. I want to show you my first movie. It is called Proud Mary. First movie I want to go see, 2018. We made it. Opening with a woman sneaking, it appears that she's going through a house, and as she's going through the house, appears that she is intended to kill somebody by the way she's dressed, not just with her looks. So what she does is she pulls out this gun, and she pulls out the gun on someone, and obviously she uses the gun in a way that benefits her, and the person is no longer her objective, but now her new objective is to get out the house. While she's on the way out the house, she leaves somebody behind who happens to be a boy, but this boy didn't hear the shot because he's in the back room playing video games. So she leaves. Flash forward to a few years later, and we see that the boy is in the streets. He's a little dingy and beat up, and he appears to be, trying to make money by delivering what seems to be packages for people. It may have been narcotics, but the thing was, it was really something just to see and something to just see about. So that's what he's doing now. He did have a nice home, but he was now delivering narcotics on the streets. He doesn't look like he's in his best health-wise shape, nutrition. So what happens is he's back onto the streets, gets kicked back out on the streets before he's trying to steal and rob, so he's kicked out of the streets, and then somebody ends up robbing him. That's the street karma, I guess. And what happens, luckily for him, is that Mary is still around following him, making sure, I guess, that he's okay and everything is alright with his life. Unfortunately, when she finds him, he's not, and he has been beat up and abandoned in the streets again. So the female figure in this film decides to be his caretaker, and she takes him into her home. She doesn't mind taking him into her home at all, but the thing is, she just applies for a few rules, and the kid doesn't mind. You can see that the kid doesn't mind being taken as well, because he also happens to start speculating, how do you trust me so much? I can rob you. He asks these questions. I could possibly I can leave the door open. She trusts him, being that she is this secret woman with these specialty assassinative skills. So she does that, and that's how that happens. Meanwhile, so she gives the little boy a change of clothes. While he is changing his clothes, it's discovered that he has a bruise on his back, which Mary sees, and then she doesn't approve. She's disgusted and disdained by the scar, and she doesn't hold child abuse against her. It actually holds a special place in her heart. So she decides that something should be done, and she deals with it in her own actions. This involves her going to another street professional, and what happens is when she does this, she ends up chewing off more than she can handle, and there is a disagreement and a lot of tension in the room, which causes a lot of people to be assassinated by Mary. So she is, of course, still out into the room, and then that happens, which throws everything off, because now she has just killed somebody out of character. That's not in her assassination's character. And this is how tension erupts in the story. So, since this erupts tension into the story, and this alerts all of street lords that's in the vicinity, because this happens to tell them that something's going on. There are people getting killed, which is a problem, because now everybody is constantly looking over their shoulders. And that means constantly looking over their shoulders. That means that all of the different street gangs are now on high alert, suspicion. So Mary is pulled into her boss talks to her, Mary is pulled into her boss, but she doesn't really say it, she just allows them to kind of figure out along the way. Meanwhile, the boy is still with her and still tagging along, tries to finesse her way to living life every day without everybody noticing that or anybody finding out. And this is what, because that's the biggest thing that Mary is scared of now. So she has she has a problem of people finding out the wrongs that she has done. She therefore later she goes on to go through everyday life, and her people are highly educated, though, street and book wise and weapon wise. And they eventually put the pieces together of where this boy is coming from, what's happening, and the jig is up. Mary gets found out. It causes tension between the boy and Mary, because Mary is getting constantly hurt on the streets, and the boy doesn't understand why, so he takes matters into his own hands, which ends up somebody else. He assassinates somebody, and story blows up even more. As you can see, there's a lot of gunfire, a lot of action, a lot of crossfire and bad business. You can just plain out put it like that. So basically, now this requires for the boy and Mary to just stick side by side for the rest of the movie and allow themselves, hopefully, that they find some way out of all the chaos and mayhem that's going on in the city. Overall, it's a good action movie. Good action movie. I liked it a lot. Like I said, a lot of plot twists, eyebrow raises and turns. So I would like to give Mary in the movie making on this one, I'll say a 2.5 out of 4, because a lot of the cinematic views in this case were very nice. Good quality, spot on. So I definitely want to shout out to the director for that, and all that person has done. Taraji P. Henson being Mary, and all of those grand people. I want to shout out the director. I want to shout out the studios. I love it as action. I love that as crime. I love that as a thriller. It was made in the US of A. Little parts of Massachusetts. Shout out Massachusetts. Savon Codera for this nice blue shirt. Shout out Shea Moisture. Usually wear my Adidas hat always. Like I said, by the way, I will be trying to make videos at least once a week. Stay tuned. Come back for more.